And we continue day 2 action. The 2026 Colin Coleman Memorial Tournament. It's U11 and U13B competitive. We got U11B today. The Lewisville Lightning and the Bedford Blues. These two teams, so both in search of a playoff spot. Nothing is guaranteed between these two teams, so this is a very important 2 points. In net for Bedford, it's Gio Chen, number 1, that takes the crease. And Adel Ebal is in between the pipes for the Lewisville Lightning. Walking in for the Lightning, there's the shot quickly over the net there from Toda. Saw the top corner and almost picked it perfectly, bringing it back in. Leblanc to the net. Toda with the attempted shot. Here's Zoe McKnight to the boards. Tried to spin and fire that back into the middle. Was unable to do so at the blue line. Shot put to the net there by Godbout Savoie. Didn't get on net. Was blocked away by a blue. Here's Simon Boudreau. Throwing that one across. Boudreau skating it in for Bedford. Working along the blue line. Here's Boudreau into the zone. Waiting, cutting to the net. And that one taken away. And will be moved behind the net here by Godbout Savoie. Godbout Savoie through the zone to Toda. Toda up the zone. Kian Toda working his way up. Still with it on his forehand. Now he's redirected into the corner. Given a little shove as now it goes to the middle where it's shot in by Gould. In the middle, Toda touches up, and I believe that will be a delayed offside. The Lewisville Lightning and U11B, they are 1-1. 7 goals for, 5 against. And Bedford is 1-0-1 with 6 goals, 4 and 3 against. So both of these teams still very well in a potential playoff spot, especially with a 4-team semifinal and a 6-team division. Anything can happen. Back in the zone, Gould shoving it up against the boards. No one barely getting by Weber. It's now in the middle, looking for it. There's Skaplin. So the zone, chasing it there was McKenzie. Tied up in the center, brought back by the Lightning. Accidental trip, it looked like, with speed. Denman going to get it for Bedford. Pinned up against the boards there with Poitier. Denman and Poitier still with it as the puck slowly comes up towards the blue line. There's the attempted shot off the back there of a blue. It looked to be Felix Zoo. Lifting a stick, throwing it against the board. There's Skaplin. Up against the boards, now barely held into the zone as now the Blues are forced to chase. On it there was Yetman before giving that one off. Stopped in the zone, Benson Poitier on it. Poitier now down on the ground. Puck had been underneath him for a minute there. Blues come back the other way, charging up the center with speed. For the moment there was Michael Denman before being stripped of the puck. Lightning back the other way. Working up there was Giroir. He was unable to get anything going in the offensive zone. Lockyer battling there as well. The Blues, they walk up now at speed. Once taken down. Looks like the Bedford bench had wanted a call on that. Shot into the center there by Lockyer. Time still ticks down. Less than 9 to go in period 1. Couture back with it for Lewisville. Passing through center. That was off the stick of Yetman and deflected into the middle. They're going to have to stay on side. It's dumped in. Chance to get the Blues some changes here. Behind the net, Couture throwing that one up. Lockyer unable to get to that one. There was McClellan trying to get to that loose puck. Brought in here by Monette. Monette, sharp angle shot. That one turned away by Ebal behind the net. Given a little flip there by Jake McKnight. McKnight stopping there, tangled up with Abu Agina. McKnight up the wall. Stopped at the line. The shot, bouncing puck over to Ibal. Well, he'll turn that one away. Right to the side of the net. Couture giving it over. Monette, wraparound attempt. And that one covered by Ibal. There's a bit of pushing and shoving. Abu Agina and McClellan getting after it a little bit. Just over 8 to go in period 1. This game still scoreless for right now. Faceoff's going to go to the left of Adel Hébert. McClellan going to have to reposition his stick there. It's won by the Blues. McClellan up to the line. There's the shot redirected by McClellan. Right out in front. There's the shot. And covered up by Hébert. It was Alistair Gillis who was waiting right in front with the shot, but was denied by Hébert. The Lightning attempt to clear and ends up just going to the line. The clearance in is taken by Poirier behind the net. It's whacked around over there for Leblanc. Benoit Leblanc up the wall. Again, that one's stolen. Gillis, the attempted shot. That one didn't get on net. In the corner, McClellan tried to see Gillis in the middle. That one intercepted by Zoe McKnight. Taken by Gillis. He turns and shoots wide of the net. McClellan waiting in the corner. Throwing that one up to the blue line. Waiting. Here's the shot attempt that goes in, and that one intercepted by Toda as he turns and spins the other way. Toda in a foot race there with Boudreau. Toda and Boudreau. It's Boudreau that wins it, throws it, trying to go around the boards. That one went right up, bounced into the slot for a minute. Potential turnover at the blue line. Godbout Savoie over skating it. The Blues go back the other way. It's McKenzie getting knocked off the puck, but we're going to have a penalty called with it. And that was Alistair Gillis, rather, who was going to get to draw this penalty. Looks like that's Del Doucette that'll go to the box for a slash. So Bedford will find themselves on the first power play of this game. Knocked in and out of the zone there by Lewisville. Denman going around the cage. Sends one up over to Zoo. Zoo in the middle. That one goes in between his skates. Taken by Desprez and moved into the zone. Desprez in around one. Desprez, here's the shot. Saved and covered up. And that one somehow stayed out of the net. And the goaltender, Gio Chen, now down on the ice. With help from the ref, he gets up. And almost a short-handed goal coming there. Face-off one, threatening close to the pans there. Chen, it's now found in the corner. Bedford with it in their own end. Here's the pass right across the crease, a very dangerous and risky pass, but that one ends up working as they get outside the zone. They're still on the power play for not very long. In the middle, gets poked off a twig there as the Lightning try to find their way back in the zone. It's going to go back to the Bedford defense. Latimer with it will throw it into some open ice. It'll bank off the boards, find its way all the way back down to the Lewisville end. And there was Gould taking a fall that's now found in the corner. Trying to poke to the middle there was Monette. Flipped up against the boards. Regathered in here by Pelletier as he gets out of the zone. Cleared into some open ice, skating with speed. Working with there is Denman. Denman around the net. Waits, looks for options, cuts to the middle. Not too much time left on the power play. Tried to go through. He gets poked off. Shooting that one in is Abu Aguina. To the middle. Redirected, taken by Couture. Couture against the wall. That went out of the reach of Yetman. So they'll now have to go back to the Bedford defense. As time continues to wind down on the Bedford power play, now expires. So back to some 5-on-5. Shot towards the net. Then will go behind the net of Hébert. Picked up there by Abu Aguina. Stops. Pressure from Monette. Will now go around his cage. Waits, goes up against the wall. Poke check there. Could be a turnover. Gillis has lost his stick. Still with pressure, Monette throwing that out in front, and that one had gone off the leg of Couture and was blocked. Couture up the wall, poke checked, Monette waiting in front, and that one intercepted by Hurley as he skates towards the far boards. Hurley at his blue line, across the red line now. Hurley skating in, and he's just barely offside as we now get the final 5 of the first period. Still 0-0. Face-off won by the hometown Lightning in the neutral end. Here's Toda with the pink tape, who will fire that into the zone. Trying to get a dump and chase going now. Sent along the boards, blocked in. Toda, he'll throw that one into some open ice. They'll go chase it down in the near corner. Flipped up, it takes a redirection off a stick, and it looks like that'll be an icing against Bedford. Face off to the left of Chen. Taken by Bedford out of the zone. Could be an odd man rush the other way. Potential 2-on-1. Walking in. The shot. And that one, he steered to the side of the net. Right at the side of the net now, the shot. And definitely wishing that had gone better. Here's Skaplin finding his way in the corner. Taken down as there's a little scrum. Godbout Savoie. He's the main one down. Desprez comes out with it for Lewisville. Desprez up the wall. Moving this one into some open ice. Turning and firing back. Looks to be Chernoff on it. Now Godbout Savoie again down after being pinned. It looks like he fell right on top of a Bedford blue. And Lewisville into the zone. The backhander trying to establish some offensive zone possession here. Rimmed along the board. Stopped there by Doucette. Cleared back in as they play a bit of ping pong with it. It gets out of the zone. Godbout Savoie shooting this one in. This one hovers the blue line as the Lightning now try and break in the 0-0 game. Both teams with some good chances so far. Stopped outside. Giroir. He'll throw this one in across the near boards. Behind the net. Regathered by the Bedford defense. Shot up. Redirected off a stick there of a Bedford player. They find it in the corner. Shot up taken by Yetman. At the line, it's Gould that is just barely unable to hold this one in. It will charge an offside against Lewisville. The puck will go out to center. It's the Blues that dump it into the zone. Regathered behind the net here by Giroir. His pass going to the side of that. Weird deflection out in front, but covered by Hebert. Bedford getting an offensive zone draw here. A face-off to be taken by McClellan. Won by the Lightning. It's shot out by Jake McKnight. In the center. Now shot along the near boards. Dumped in now to the far corner. Abu Aguina for the Lightning. Along the boards. Back for the Bedford defense. Back for Abu Aguina. Searches on his backhand. Turns and spins. Is barely able to get the out of the zone after multiple attempts at trying to do so. Puck still hovers along the Lewisville blue line. Abu Aguina on defense. Spinning to the blue line. Bedford at the line. There's the shot. Gathered in here by Jake McKnight. Back for Abu Aguina. Skating back with it. Goes behind the net. Waits, has two Bedford Blues on him. now has a chance to try to escape traffic. Ends up running right into one. Zoo, the pass in the middle, blocked. He'll now go to the blue line. Up top, at the point, waiting, there's the shot. Attempted redirection, Zoo to the net. What a save from Hébert. An improbable save. And Adel Hébert manages to keep that one outside the red line somehow, some way. To the right of Hébert, it's Toda against Zoo in the draw. Won by Felix Zoo, but quickly stolen by Toda. Toda through neutral ice, cutting along the left side, going up with speed, tripped up, now taken by Zoo. All on the boards, it's the dump and chase. This one will slow down right before getting to the offensive end. Zoe McKnight trying to get that one out. That shot blocked by Godbout Savoie. It's outside the zone. Toda skating after it. Looking there as well as Denman. Not much time remaining in the first period. Still a 0-0 game. Blocked at the blue line. Waiting, shot through traffic. That'll be taken and steered away by Weber, who now goes behind the net. Looks up to the near boards as the Blues trying to clear, and that was Yetman losing control of the puck. Now they get pinned right next to the hash marks of the near boards of the Bedford zone. Toda looking for a pass out in front. Well, that ends the period at 0-0. Stay tuned for more second period action here between Lewisville and Bedford U11B at the 2026 Colin Coleman Memorial Tournament. And back for period two. This game, still as we started, still at all zeros. It was cleared in by Boudreau. Out to center. The Lightning bring it in. Poirier. Cleared in by Gould. In between a couple legs. Right in the middle. Desprez trying to get a shot on it. Now finds it in the near hash marks. Throws it to the net. Collision out in front. Taken by McClellan behind the net. Will bank that up against the boards. Gillis trying to find his way out. Poked by Gould. Will find some open ice. Latimer looking for it. Taken by the Lightning. Poirier being hit down in the corner. McKay finding it behind the net. Will throw that one around here and some open ice for Gillis. Gillis throwing that one all the way down the ice. This one delayed icing. Looks like we're going to have our first whistle approximately a minute into the period. It's going to be an icing against Bedford. To the left of Chen now. Face off to be taken by Bedford, going around and curling is Skaplin, trying to go up the wall. Shot put to the side of the net almost, but behind the net, McKenzie. Trying to go up the board. Stop. There's Hurley in, getting pinned. Skapler to the line, barely held in, but waiting right there is Latimer out of the zone. Latimer skating in, waiting, sharp angle shot. There's the save from Ibal. Another try, back door, high slot, another good save by Hebert, right in the center, they jam at it, loose puck in the blue paint, where is it? It's just outside the high slot, and the Lightning are able to make a rush back the other way. They work inside the blue line now, what a move to the middle, shot attempt, just wide. Two great chances from both teams. Oh, and put towards the net, Lockyer deflecting that one. A little flip up there over to Zoo. Zoo falling down to his knees as it just gets outside the zone, regathered by the Lewisville defense right at center. Still loose as it bounces between a couple of pairs of sticks. Then a saucer pass right up over to Skaplin. Skaplin turning, trying to fire. He goes down to his knees. Taken by the Lightning as they try to forge a rush back the other way, back against the boards. Kurnoff to the middle, that pass intercepted, could be a breakaway back the other way. Walking in all alone, the forehand scores! Bryce Hurley finds his way on a breakaway after picking off a pass to give the Lightning a 1-0 lead. And a huge goal for the Lightning. Just getting on the ice, Bryce Hurley immediately picks off a pass, propels himself perfectly on a breakaway, then goes upstairs to get the icebreaker here for the Lightning. In the middle, surging through is Yetman. Walking in the zone, Yetman cutting to the left. He's going to try a shot. That one missed the net. The rebound out to the other side for Rudolph. He tried to shove it in. Oh, on the side, and that one didn't go. Hovering at the line. Trying to make a nice move there was Yetman, losing the puck. Potential 2-on-1 for the Lightning, going back the other way. Walking in, there's a shot from Toda, he scores! Kian Toda stepping in on a 2-on-1, shot it along the ice. And that one just catches the inside post and goes in, giving the Lightning now a 2-0 lead. Just under 9 minutes to go in the second. And the Blues are going to have a change of goaltenders here. Stepping into the net now is number 15, Michael McNeil. There's a quick shot by Pelletier that just missed the net. Now into the boards, two players collide. It's Gillis and Poitier. The line, good Savoie the shot. It's bounced off a couple twigs. Out in front, the shot off two posts. That's in, they score! 3 goals within the span of 2 minutes for the Lewisville Lightning. A shot that double doinked off the post and barely slid into the net. So now the Lightning up by a score of 3-0. A commanding lead as the Blues win this draw. Melanson tries to bring it in. There's a sharp angle shot that just goes over the net of Hebert. In at the line, stopping it there is Rudolph. Rudolph, the initial shot is blocked. It's the Lightning that start another rush. Up on the left wing. Poitier to the net. That one blocked off his skate before he could get to the middle. Poitier waiting, battling with Zoo. McKay now. Around the boards, up at the wall. This one's going to be caught in by the Lewisville defense. Desprez, the backhander to the net. Pad saving the rebound. Just comes up loose. Poitier almost got a stick on it. He finally gets it here. It's off a skate of a Bedford player. Another shot, another good block. I believe that's Jack Rudolph in net. Or Latimer in front of the net. making countless blocks, and this one's shot all the way down the ice. This one's going to be called off for icing. The Lightning now having to reset, going back the other way. Attempted pass against the boards, deflects right out in front in the high slot. Luckily, no Bedford players near. Lightning back the other way. Up past the blue line. Redirected pass, Yetman. Against the wall. Shot into the Bedford zone, just outside the blue line. Lightning in the middle. Taken away by Monette as he steps in. Monette dangles to the middle, works his way in, tries to forge his way to the net. This one's a loose puck taken by the Lightning. Off to the side now, Yetman to the net, saved by Hebert, and the rebound was just sent out wide. Awfully close chance. Lightning work their way up, potential 2-on-1. There's a bit of a bump by the defenseman walking in. Turnaround backhand, just misses the net. And almost a fourth straight goal as this one stopped at the line. Working in, there's a shot redirected. Trying to tap it to the middle is Hurley. He has one already, was looking for two. And it's Yetman bringing up the right wing now for Bedford. Yetman works in, winds in more, and then gets absolutely bulldozed. And that's gonna send Bedford to the power play. As he's slow to get up in the corner, but looks all right. And what a rush by Mason Yetman, forcing defenseman Alex Giroir just to step into him. I believe we've been working to get our video feed fixed, so it should be pretty steady from now on as we start a Bedford power play. Quickly cleared down by the Lightning. Shot around the boards by Monette. Brought back in by Lewisville. Stepping to the middle is Toda. That one off his stick. Redirected. Zoe McKnight. The shot towards the net. That's deflected by Chernoff and into the corner. Chernoff cutting with speed. There's a Lightning player that fell. Chernoff still in. Works his way in. Winding along the left side. Hefty slash given there by Toda. This one's kept into the zone. Getting down to about the midway mark of the power play. Blues keep it in the zone. Working his way down. Gillis unable to maintain possession after he got hit. Out. It's Lewisville. In the zone, Gillis stopping, trying to move that one to the middle. Zoe McKnight, short-handed. Trying to get that down into the zone. Toda spinning. McKnight will play that one into the Bedford zone. Denman picking it back up for Bedford. Will try to spring his man. Just onside. Breakaway. Skaplin was backhand. Scores! And they capitalize on the power play. It's Jack Skaplin getting the stretch pass and making no mistake, getting Bedford on the board on the power play. And after Bedford gets their icebreaker here with just over 4 minutes to go, they found their way back into this game after Louisville had an unstoppable 2 minutes day play. The shot to the net, the save, the rebound is there, the shot, and another good save. Two great saves made there by Michael McNeil. At the line, Godbout Savoie unable to get a hold of that. It's down the other way. Bedford Blues, potential breakaway. There's the shot that just misses the net. Just less than 4 to go. Lightning with it behind the net. Turning around, there's the outlet pass right at the ringette line. Working their way down. This one's not going to be an icing. Caught in there by Zool on the near boards. In the center, captured by Manette. No one just out of the reach of Rudolph as they tried to enter the zone. Out of the net, deflected just in behind the net. That one looked to have been dangerous, almost an own goal. Shot put to the net. That was redirected away by a Lewisville defenseman. Bedford still in the zone. To the middle. They job away at it. And it's Ebal down to make the save. Down and out, but he still finds a way to get control of the puck. We're just under 3 minutes here left to go in the second. Lewisville by a score of 3-1. They had 3 goals at the span of 2 minutes to start off the second period. But Bedford has the latest on the power play. There's a shot to the net that just missed wide. Side of the net. Directed into the corner at the line. It's barely held in. It'll walk the line now. Taken by Yetman. Yetman, the shot over the net. Rebound be taken by Manette. Manette tried to go to the cage. There's an outlet pass right in the middle. It's Lockyer that couldn't quite get the stick on it. Had it in between his feet. It's the Lightning that go back the other way with speed. There was Hurley trying to dangle to the middle, and he was swept away by the Bedford defense. Manette up the line. Can't quite get it out. Handled by Yetman. Outside, it's redirected back in. Lewisville delayed offside. Taken here by Latimer. Move it across to the left side. It's the Lightning that try to get control of it here in the zone. Lewisville Lightning walking up along the left wing. Here's the shot towards the net. That one didn't quite get there. Just less than a minute and a half to go. Lockyer in the corner. This one's poked up by Chernoff, but ends up going right to the line. Lewisville in the offensive zone. The shot towards the net. That was blocked and caught there by Gillis as he starts heading the other way. The pass to Yetman. Yetman trying to get in all alone. That's McClellan, excuse me. McClellan walking in. There's the shot. Was blocked. Another try. And a good save made by Hebert as we get down to our last minute of the second. Thrown up into neutral ice. McKenzie wires that one across. Working in McClellan. Dumping attempt blocked by Zoe McKnight. McKnight in the middle. Cutting to the far boards. McKnight stopping at the line. A good heads-up play knowing that her team was offside. Stepping up. In his own defensive end, it's Chernoff. Now skating out with it. Chernoff poked away in the middle. Coming up from behind to grab that is McClellan. McClellan stopping as soon as he gets in the blue line. Had tried to pass that one off. Now he gets tied up right at the ringette line. It's brought out by the Lightning. In the center. Moving to the middle now. Doucette, opposite board, skates into the zone. Hits the brakes. Doucette waits and fires towards the net. And that one was blocked. Sent right back up to the blue line off the rebound. In the middle. Now the backhander just sends that one over the net. McKnight at the side of the net. Tried to center that one in the slot. That one goes off the board. Stopped it at the line. Here's Coutillo. Trying to get that one down to Desprez. But the buzzer goes to end off the second period and make it 3-1 in favor of the Lightning. And what a second period it was. Stay tuned for the third period. Bringing a lane from the K at the 2026 Colin Coleman U11 and U13 competitive tournament. And after a quick break, we drop the puck on period 3. It's quickly sent in the Lewisville end. Skating there for Bedford, trying to take it into the corner. There was McKenzie, had overskated the puck. Now it's caught up in a pile. It's caught in right at the Bedford blue line. Godbout-Savoie trying to throw it out. Caught in. Zoo going to the middle on his backhand. High slot, couldn't quite get a shot off. That was Tristan Godbout-Savoie coming in out of nowhere to defend that rush. Godbout-Savoie, far boards, will flip that one close to the blue line. That was blocked before he could get out. Passing to the middle, trying to walk in there was McKenzie and just mishandled the puck shot all the way down by Doucette. A delayed icing. This one doesn't look like it's going to go on net, so it will be an icing charged against Lewisville. Face off going to the left, or to the right, excuse me, of Adel Hébert. Face off won by Bedford. They try to control it at the line. It's a bouncing puck. The shot stopped by Gould on his backhand. His clear goes through the legs of Monette and up into the center. Hurley trying to get control of it. He was given a little bumping off the puck. Yetman walks back in for the Blues. Yetman on the left wing, moving his way into the corner. His sharp angle shot takes the stick out of the hand of Hébert. Diving in the net. I believe that's Michaud. Richard's there. And a bit of chaos going right in front of the net. Original shot from Mason Yetman knocked the stick out of the hands of Adel Hébert. And Alex Lichard diving into the net to try to stop the puck that wasn't quite there yet. Bedford keeping this one in the zone. A pass in the middle, turned away by Couture as he flips that one up over for Toda. Toda, he has the latest goal in this one, skating up. He was poke checked and sent away. Around the boards it'll go. Stopping at the line, Abu-Agina. The shot misses wide left of the net. Gathered by Latimer. Latimer behind the cage, around in the corner. Turning, firing back against the boards is Couture in the neutral zone. Zoe McKnight trying to travel through the offensive zone, strictly poke check at the line. It's intercepted. Walking in, LeBlanc cutting to his backhand and couldn't quite get the shot off. Had ran into a hot defenseman. Bedford out at the blue line. Cleared in by Couture back into a pile as the Blues continue their way up the zone. Loose puckets in the middle. Only person knowing it's there is McKnight. Latimer went for a change. Now has to quickly come back after seeing the rush. McKnight trying to get that deep in the zone. Turning and spinning there is Toda after he found the loose puck right at the blue line. It's dumped into the zone in the near corner of the Bedford zone. Rimmed up the boards. Couture able to stop it there before the blue line. This one will travel behind the net there of McNeil. Latimer throws that up the wall. Intercepted by Toda. Back for Latimer. He gets it stolen. And still it's bouncing off a couple sticks in the Bedford zone. A couple players falling. Latimer taking a swipe at it, but it's the Blues that almost get it out. It's picked and stolen again and again. Multiple players just stealing the puck as it now finds its way to center. Couture falling in there to scoop it and dump it in is Pelletier. Working in, Desprez all alone. Desprez the breakaway. Glove save by McNeil as the rebound is taken behind the net. A clutch save by McNeil on Ben Desprez. And icing against Bedford. And what a sequence of events for both teams. Bedford unable to clear the zone for a solid 2 minutes. And Lewisville almost making them pay, but what a save by Mike McNeil in between the pipes in white. There's a shot from the Lightning. The rebound sent up towards the ringette line. Brought out by Zoo. Zhu traveling up the left boards. Working in. Faking. McKenzie now in the corner. Backhander into the front. Poked away by Hurley. He has it in between his legs. He's on the ground. Hurley, McKenzie digging for the backhand towards the net. Multiple tries. And Adele there to cover up. And a bit of rough stuff after. Doucette giving a shove. So a bit of a chaotic 5 seconds in front of the net there of Hébert. Trying to get the glove on it. Here's Toda in the face-off circle. Winning it there against Yetman. Toda up to Zoe McKnight. She's upended at the line. Curled back in. Monette trying to get that one out in front. That one off the skate of Doucette and back around the net. Yetman now. Up to the blue line. Bedford in the zone. Shot. Redirected. Monette turns. Tries to get a shot off. But there's Godbout Savoie to take it and steal it and go behind the net. The breakout pass over to Zoe McKnight. She gets outside the zone now with steam. Up into the zone. McKnight, the shot was blocked and sent into the corner. The Blues recover with it in between the feet of Monette. They're inside the offensive zone now, but the loose possession. Godbout Savoie tried to turn and fire that one along the boards. Blocked in by Yetman. Yetman circling his way in. Pressures LeBlanc against the board. It's Zoe McKnight that comes out with it. She speeds up the center here. Poked off. Toda. He'll dump it in. That went off the legs of the linesman on the bench. Toda to the middle. Into some open ice. Picked up by McKnight. McKnight skating in. A nice move to get around Yetman. McKnight to the net. That one saved and turned away by McNeil. No rebound given. As we still trying to get the video feed up and running, less than 7 to go in period 2. It's a 2-goal game where all the goals have come in the second period. There was 3 goals in a row for the Lightning within the span of 2 minutes, but Bedford has responded with the recent power play goal nearing the end of the second. Battle up for it in the neutral end. This one squeaks free over to Latimer. Latimer will throw that one against the wall. They still pin it up against the boards. Trying to find it loose here and move it in the center is Boudreau. Simon Boudreau curling up the right wing. He'll dump that one in. It'll come to rest behind the net of Hébert. Picked up by Gould. Gould trying to go up the wall. Picked off by Gillis. Gillis stopping, having to dangle out a couple. Gillis to the corner. Right up in the high slot. There's the shot. They score! The pass from Gillis right onto the tape of Ewan McClellan. And McClellan goes to the top shelf for Bedford. Now getting them to within 1. With 6:12 to go now in the third period, it's now only a 1-goal game. Number 31, Ewan McClellan to the top shelf. On the ringette line, the quick one-timer in the Lewisville end was blocked by a Bedford defenseman. Lewisville with control. Working his way here, Lockyer. He gets picked off. It's now taken by Zhu and outside the zone. Bedford working up the right wing. Skating back, McKnight against the boards. Jake McKnight, the pass to Lockyer. Lockyer outfight Zhu. Lockyer. He gets it stripped off his tape. And it's the Bedford Blues that bring it back in along the left wing. Skating up, McKenzie, the sharp angle shot. Caught in and stopped by the chest of Hébert. Both goaltenders this afternoon have been absolutely on fire. Both of them not allowing much in. Toda in the face-off circle. Yetman wins the draw on him to the blue line. It's sent into some open ice. Only one there picking it off is Benoit LeBlanc. LeBlanc working through the left wing, has some pressure, so he'll just dump that one in deep into the Bedford zone. Latimer grabs it on the side of the net. His breakout pass is deflected and blocked at the line. There's a cross. Zoe McKnight tries to put one to the net. Blocked off the backhand of Latimer as he finds it in the corner. The pass up there. A nice move made by Monette. He gets out of the zone. Monette digging on a Lewisville defenseman in the middle. That was Couture he had taken down. Right at the Bedford blue line now. McKnight will send a backhand in. It's found now behind the net by Latimer of the Bedford Blues. Latimer throwing that one to the middle. Intercepted. McKnight the shot. Just past the shin pad. And again, Latimer is there to block that one and steer it aside. Latimer throwing it up the wall. This time it's not going to hit anybody. It looks like it's going to go all the way down for an icing. And indeed it will. Down to the final 5 in the third period. Lewisville Lightning had scored the first 3, but it's been 2 Bedford goals since, the latest one from Ewan McClellan. Bedford wins the draw against the boards, unable to clear, shot in but blocked, another try, and that's 2 blocks off the stick of, I believe that's McClellan, who's down and out in the middle. 2 Bedford Blues collide right in their own zone. The puck is under a couple bodies. Going to be cleared in there by Toda. Stopped at the line. Doucette sends that one off. Stopping there. Quick shot to the net attempt by Giroir. That one doesn't get there. Could be a rush back the other way. A one-on-one. It's a foot race for it into the Lewisville zone. And what a good defensive play. Good Savoie, but he might get a tripping call here. And it looks like he will. Although both of them had gone down. So it will be a tripping penalty against Christian Godbout-Savoie. Where the Blues will head to the power play at 3:44 of the third period. In the face-off circle, it's Bryce Hurley in for Lewisville. Looks like that's Skaplin. In there for the Blues. It's Skaplin that wins it. Almost gets the pass right in the high slot. They have to rush to keep this one in, and they will. McKenzie trying to find his way to the middle. McKenzie, a nice move around Gould. McKenzie, the shot, a great save there by Hebert. Having to save that one from going to the top corner. McKenzie throwing that one out in front off the skate of Giroir. Back into the hash marks. McKenzie turns, fires through the legs of Gould, and that one just misses the right post. Skaplin going in against Gould. At the line, Zoo putting that one in the middle. Latimer has some room. He fires, patted away. The rebound off the side of the net. McKenzie turning around, wraparound attempt, and that was blocked. In the front now in the high slot, it's Hebert that pounces on it. For the much needed whistle. What a power play it's been for the Bedford Blues. Again, both of these teams fighting to not only not risk elimination, but to try to get as best the seed they can. And it's about the game we expected. 1 goal difference. And I'm just shocked it has been a 3-goal differential at some point in this game. Here shorthanded, that pass is picked off by Toda. Toda up the right wing with some speed, cutting to the middle, and is unable to keep possession. Couture walks in to try to hold it at the line. Couture still with it, sharp angle shot. That one didn't get through a couple bodies. Another try by Lockyer. The rebound right out in front of the backhand, just misses the net. Great shorthanded chances for the Lightning here. Couture will stop it at the line on the near boards. That one taken back by Bedford as they flip it into center. The pass to the middle. Almost captured in there. Toda falling down. Or there was the Bedford Blue player falling down. Toda walking in. Here's the shot, shorthanded. He scores! Kian Toda with his second of the game. Shorthanded. Gives the Lightning back their multi-goal lead. He grabbed the puck in the neutral zone. Went all the way to the left side. Then cut all the way to the right in the offensive zone. and lifted it to the top part of the net, giving the Lightning another 2-goal lead. The Blues finding their way in the zone. Yetman turning, spinning towards the net. Monette in front, can't quite get a stick on it. Monette waits to the net, the save, the rebound, they score! Jack Rudolph in front of the net, gets on that one, and the Blues capitalize on their power play right after. Make it now a 4-3 game. Jack Rudolph waiting right out in front, just above the blue paint, and buries it after Hébert was down and out. Godbout Savoie back to his own end. The backhander blocked at the ringette line. Stepping in, here's a sharp angle shot that redirects off a body. Now coming to the near boards. Stopped in by Monette. He tries to put it to the cage. Pelletier in the corner. Off his back end, Monette hits the brakes. Poirier there. Godbout Savoie. This one just gets by Yetman. Blocked in at the line there by McKenzie, and he gives a nasty slash to a Lightning player. And I don't believe this was called originally, although McNeil had been going to the bench. So with 1:24 left, we're going to take a little bit of an injury timeout here. Still can't quite tell who's on the ice there. That could be Godbout Savoie, and that is. It's Godbout Savoie that gets up and makes his way to the bench. Linesmen are going to chat with the official. We'll see if we can have another look at it. Right in the middle, he just gets hit on accident, and definitely looked like the slash was not on purpose. Well, 1:24. Flipped out there by Desprez. It's an empty net now for Bedford. So it's a 6-on-5 getting down to the final minute here. Blues work their way in the zone. Turning and spinning as Pelletier couldn't quite get that out of the zone. Again, it gets knocked around at the blue lines, backhanded in. Regathered back, McClellan cutting wide. The backhander, and that one went right through the crease. And McKenzie getting pinned along the near boards here. And a penalty. Might be body contact against the Lightning. I think that's what we got going here. Looks like that's Alex Giroir. That's going to head to the box. So now a 6-on-4. A crucial chance for Bedford here. To the left of Hébert now. 6-on-4. Shot to the net. Redirected and saved. So Bedford on a power play. They play a 6-on-4 with their netminder to the bench. There's a quick shot turned away by Hébert. Behind the net. Taken around by LeBlanc. Hurley will put it back behind the net. Abuagina chasing after it. Skaplin waiting to the net. Hurley trying to fire that one down. It was blocked. Top of the circle, there's a shot. And that one just missed wide. Couture behind the net, waiting on his forehand. And we have another injured player. And this time it's on the Blues. We'll have another injury timeout getting down to the stretch. Coach is on the ice immediately. It's going to be Simon Boudreaux that does get up and head to the bench on his own. There's just 17 seconds left. The faceoff will go outside the blue line. Still net empty. Blues are going to have to quickly rush into the zone and try to get just a shot off at least. Down by a goal here in this one. And look at how they're lined up. I believe that's McKenzie all the way on the opposite side. Won by the Lightning. Brought back. Moving in here is Skaplin. Skaplin, the pass across. Moving his way in now is Chernoff. Behind the net. Taken by Toda. He'll rim that around the boards. And this might be it. They need a quick shot off. Skaplin turns and fires towards the net. That one blocked. Sent wide. And the buzzer going to hit zero as Couture gets behind the net. And that will confirm the Lightning's spot in tomorrow's semifinals. They go 2-1, and that will be enough. Now the only thing to see is who they play. Gloves are being thrown off. Could only imagine if they make the finals or even win, how hyped they'll be. Now they'll shake hands and get the MVP. And stick around next on the MST YouTube channel. More action from the 2026 Colin Coleman here at the K. It's going to be these same two teams, but in the U11, Lewisville and Bedford up next in MST. Brayden Elaine from the K.